Hello and very warm welcome to this special interview. I'm Mohd Ujaley from ETGovernment, the Economic Times, and today I'm at the very beautiful campus of IIM Kashipur, and I'm joined by Professor Kulbhushan Balooni, Director of IIM Kashipur, and we are going to talk about a lot of different issues, a lot of different challenges and opportunities, and some of the work that IIM Kashipur has been doing, especially in and around promotion of innovation, entrepreneurship, a startup culture, also research. And before we go to the director, we would like to just tell you that Mr. Director Sir has actually joined IIM Kashipur in 2019, and before that he has been associated with IIM Kozhikode for more than 2 decades. He's somebody who has done a lot of research and innovation in different fields, and more recently he has been working on different papers, especially on exploring the role of promoting agencies in the success of farmer producers, companies and other collective by focusing on member centrality. So sir, thank you so much for giving us an opportunity to interview you. Let me begin by asking you, given the fact that we see there are a lot of innovation happening across the country, and the role of education institution, especially the higher education institution like IIMs of yours, are playing very important role. And there the role of the government also become important, because we do see there are a lot of government policies which support a lot of innovation in terms of grant, in terms of directions. So could you share as to how you have been able to utilize some of the direction that is coming from the government, both center as well as state, and make it beneficial for an education community?
Thank you, Ujaley. It's a very wonderful question. And today, whatever innovation entrepreneurship ecosystem which we see across all the educational institutions in the country,
right,
and we should thank to Government of India. And let me start with one example. Way back in 2016, when I was working at IIM Kozhikode, the Department of Science Technology approached us if we are interested in starting an incubation center.
Right.
And they gave us a very generous grant. And today we have a very flourishing incubation center at IIM Kozhikode.
Right.
When I joined IIM Kashipur way back in 2019, I found a group of my colleagues, they are already into entrepreneurship.
Right.
They have already started an incubation center by the name called FEED, Foundation for Innovation and Development and Entrepreneurship Development. And they were working. And when I came here, we just registered it under the Company Act. And we have set up a governance structure with the board of directors. And today I can say around 12 to 15 of my colleagues are involved in that, right, directly or indirectly. And all this is supported by the Government of India,
right,
be it Ministry of Farmers and Welfare, and earlier it was Department of Science and Technology, now is Ministry of Commerce and Industries, and then you have Startup India Development
right,
Funds, Startup India,
right,
and Uttarakhand government. All of them, they have come together, and then we have agencies like NABARD also, which are playing a critical role,
right,
in building the incubation center.
Wonderful.
On the other hand, we also have another center called Design and Innovation Center.
Right.
There also we are trying to make efforts, and it's a part of hub and spoke model, which is based at IT Roorkee.
Right.
And we are trying to help in the Himalayan region on that front.
Right, right. No, you're absolutely right, especially on the part of the kind of support that the government has given. And the wonderful thing is that most of the educational institutions, especially the higher educational institutes, they have been able to take those things and implement it. And there are a lot of things that is happening on the ground. Now I'll come to the other part, which is given the fact that we see there are a lot of IIMs that has been set up across the country in the second and third batch. And we do see most of those IIMs are actually doing innovative work. I mean, we have around 2021. So every IIM now has to be a bit unique in terms of its approach, in terms of how it is attracting students, in terms of what kind of unique value proposition it is bringing to the overall society. Could you share some unique thing that you feel that IIM Kashipur is offering, which is slightly different from other IIMs, or maybe has some unique proposition altogether?
Realizing that, we need to create a niche for ourselves when so many IIMs are there, and we have to compete with the private right, schools also. In 2019, we did a review of all our programs, MBA, Executive MBA, and PhD program.
Right.
And that gave us a direction. So it is not about the faculty members only. It is about creating a culture from the students' point of view also. In our MBA review program, we brought in a lot of half-credit courses. So at our place, 1 credit is equal to 25 hours. So we have half-credit courses like design thinking, creative thinking, interpersonal skills, and on computational tools, and on entrepreneurship. So that was, I'll say that was a, what you call, platform actually, to get into entrepreneurship and innovation. So this revamping of the MBA program helped us 2 ways actually. One is helping our students, making them job ready also. At the same time, creating entrepreneurship and innovation culture in the institute also. I'll say that was our first step. And then we defined that now it's time also to diversify our portfolio of the programs. We had our traditional MBA program. And then in 2019, when I came here, I realized many of my younger colleagues who are from different areas. It was a very good interdisciplinary team from operations management and decision sciences and IT and systems. And even my colleagues from economics and marketing and HR who were already teaching some courses on analytics. We thought that time that we are doing so much and our students also getting placed in the companies which are looking for students with analytics background. I think we are the first one in the country to start MBA analytics program way back in 2021-22. So that was the first year. And I should say very proudly that in the beginning, we started with a batch of 40. And we could get around 1,000 applications. The admission window was very small in the very first year when we started. But later on, today, as of today, this year, we are going to take 180 students. And we have got around 6,000 applicants. So that tells me, so this is one area. Analytics is one area where we have created a niche for ourselves. It is not about teaching only, it is about research also. And secondly, our entrepreneurship, as I mentioned about you, our feed and our DIC center, which is promoting that. Apart from that, actually, which we want to do something for the regional development also. As you mentioned that now almost every state has one IIM. It implies that though our area of sphere is big, like in the case of our incubation center, we have startups coming from all over the countries. We are incubating them, but we have to do something for our state also, for Uttarakhand. So we are focusing on Uttarakhand, Himachal Pradesh, and UP. And one way to reach out to the different stakeholders, we thought we need to do something different actually. Because our students are coming from different backgrounds. And some of them, I don't think they have that kind of a rural background, and they have an idea about rural India. And many of the IIMs, I'll say, they have a program called Himalayan Outbound, where they bring their students to Himalayas to showcase them. Because in Himalayas, they provide a very good opportunity for the students to learn something about nature and about the people also. The people in Himalayas, they were hardworking, very sincere. They work in very harsh conditions. So if you are in Himalayas, even for a week or 2 weeks, you learn a lot. And take a lot along with you. And we have in our MBA program, we have a component called experiential learning. And in that program, in the third term, we have sessions there. We teach them. And we have divided this entire experiential learning into 3 parts. One is unlocking rural India, one is MSME, and one is sustainability. So there are 3 components. So all 270 students, we have divided into a class of 90 each. And after we teach them about the basics, then in the second year, all the students in a group of, say, around 5 to 6 students, they have to work with the local agency, I'll say, including NGOs, government agencies, and all other organizations. So today we have enlisted 60 organizations where our students are working. And they actually take up their challenging job. Just want to say that recently one of the group, they have worked on helping a cooperative to revive and help them in getting seed funding from a private organization. And we are helping them, many of the organizations, in developing their value chain, solving their problems, solving their even internal, I'll say that setup also, I'll say the governance also. In fact, actually a few weeks, maybe 2 months ago, we called all these NGO officials and all these agency officials to our organization here, and we have an interaction with them, how to strengthen this program. And this has become very popular now, actually. Rather than we approaching the organizations, actually, organizations are approaching to us, actually. They're approaching us to how to solve their problems. So it's basically actually a big takeaway from this learning there. And this is very, very fruitful.
Right.
And on the other hand, while likewise faculty members are also reaching out to the reaching out at the grassroots level. For example, just in the month of January to March, our colleagues, they conducted boot camps, 18 boot camps in 13 districts of Uttarakhand. And they were all boot camps on entrepreneurship. This was sponsored by Department of Industries of Uttarakhand. So they conducted 1 to 2 days of boot camps, wherein all young people they came, including college students they came. And now we are helping them. And it is just not one time actually that we are reaching out to the this communities there. Now actually we are trying for a hub and spoke model. Wherein we have become the hub, and all these organizations which we have reached out, because this boot camps were conducted in different colleges. We are going to help them. Likewise, actually, to increase our outreach, particularly in the case of agriculture, startups, agriculture ecosystem, agriculture startup ecosystem. We are also trying to create a consortium of agriculture universities which are into agribusiness or into agri-startups. We are trying to help their incubation centers also.
You mentioned about the analytics and other program, and we do see that especially the kind of innovation that has been made in next generation technology, which is artificial intelligence, machine learning, and blockchain and robotics and all. And even the government organization is trying to actually utilize those technology in order to improve the government service delivery, especially the public service delivery. Our education institutes are trying to create, there is a lot of capacity gap actually. So our education institute are trying to train a lot of students, a lot of mid-career professionals in those emerging technologies so that it could be utilized. And so since you have already run a program on analytics, could you like to share what is your assessment of this AI, machine learning and analytics in terms of improving the efficiency of an organization? It could be government, it could be enterprise, and also the kind of value chain it is going to bring down the line in 5 year, 10 year, both from the job creation perspective, also improving the last mile user's life actually.
Ujaley, you have raised a very larger question to me, but I would be more specific on what we are doing exactly. First part is that when, say in the case of MBA Analytics program, what we have done actually, we have made it like a very, very rigorous, we have made it a very rigorous program in the sense that what students are learning in the class actually, they have to apply also.
Absolutely.
That is how when they join the corporate sector, they'll be more useful to the respective organization. So what we have done in the second year, we have brought in a dissertation component. All our MBA Analytics students, they undertake dissertation under the guidance of a faculty member from here, from the campus, and they can always have guides from the corporate sector also. I mean, so there's those people who are working on this analytics field. And this dissertation is spread over entire 1 year. They have to pass it. They have to write a thesis also. This is one way out. Other is that where we are leveraging our niche, our specialization in our analytics program, we are offering a lot of online certificate programs with our technology partners. They range from 60 hours to 180 hours. And this actually is we have got a very good traction for these programs. And this, or I'd say the practitioners, those executives, they are coming and taking this program. And learning based on our strength on analytics, actually, we also realized that there's a lot of demand from the executives also. So 2 years ago, last year, we started executive MBA program in analytics also. And in the very first program, we got 90 executives. And they are undergoing training. And it is as rigorous as the MBA program because our MBA program is also 900 hours and executive MBA analytics is also a 900-hour program. And what differentiates this executive MBA analytics program from the other executive MBA programs which are offered by the other management institutions? Every term is followed by a immersion program. Every term they have to come and spend a week here. So there is much more of a interaction between the faculty members and the students. And students also have a feeling of the campus also, and they also interact with each other. So I'll say that it's more of a blended learning program. So I'd say that this is how we are trying to build,
Yes.
I think, not the capacity of the institution, but the capacity of the society
Absolutely, wonderful. Earlier, you also were mentioning about the innovation in the agriculturist field, and especially we do see there are a lot of young entrepreneur and startups who are actually trying to do something in agri-tech field. And some time back, I mean, your institute organized a kind of program wherein you invited a lot of agriculture startups. When you look at the region per se, the north and especially the state in which your institute is, agriculture in and around is very important thing, and there are a lot of livelihood involved. There are a lot of person who is involved into it. Uh, how has been your feedback based on the conversation that you had with young entrepreneur, young people actually who joined that particular program? What is your sense of agri-tech innovation that is happening in this region, and as to how the kind of role that institute like IIM Kashipur could play in terms of bringing more professionalism, more professional oriented doing things in the agriculture space?
Ujala, you have raised a very pertinent and a very challenging question. To start with, I'll say that I studied from Agriculture University.
Right.
I did my bachelor's and master's there. And I would say that during my bachelor's, we were taught that in the case of agriculture, whatever we do in the lab, we have to take it to the land.
Absolutely.
In any agriculture university, there are three essential parts. One is education, one is research, and one is extension.
Right.
So right from our Green Revolution onwards, there was a lot of emphasis on extension.
Absolutely.
But now you go to any agriculture university, every agriculture university is trying to set up an incubation center.
Right.
When I'm saying that it is very easy to create something in the lab and take it to the land.
Right.
And it depends upon the adoption of that technology or the innovation. But in the case of agriculture sector, there are other challenges. There are teething challenges. It is about marketing, branding,
Right.
building, developing value chain. And a farmer or a younger farmer who is trying to get into startup, or even a graduate from agriculture university, or anyone
Right.
from any field who's trying to get into agriculture sector and trying to tap the potential, actually, he has to bring his challenges. He knows what kind of challenges they are facing.
Right.
So they are bringing their challenges to the startups
Right.
incubation center. So what we are doing here when we are incubating the startups into agriculture sector, actually, we listen to them.
Right.
What kind of problems you are facing, actually, and then we try to help those startups, actually.
Right.
And actually we help them to a stage where they are able to get tap the funding. So I want to give an example to you. Like in the last 6 years, we have incubated more than 140 startups.
Right.
And I could say around 30 to 40% of them, they are from agriculture sector. And they are the one actually who are able to tap more funding
Right.
than the other startups.
Right.
So altogether, 140 startups, they have tapped around 320 crore rupees of funding. And a good number of them, actually, I'll say they are from the agriculture sector.
Right.
So I think, so this was one part of your question, okay? And realizing that not many of the business schools in the country, they are into incubating agri-startups.
Right.
We thought is a very good opportunity for us, actually. And today I say that as we have created a niche for ourselves in analytics, in the same breath, I'll say that we have created a niche for innovation and entrepreneurship in agriculture sector too.
Right. Right.
And when these young people, they come, actually, they want to do something, but they are directionless.
Right.
When they come, when we train them here, we have a training program for 2 months here. They learn, they know about many of the things which they are not aware of that.
Right.
Right from finance and accounting to marketing,
Right.
to branding, we teach them everything. And when they are prepared, actually, they know what they have to do, actually, and how to solve the problem. So, and this hand-holding is there, continues till they get the funding, and even after that also.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Tell us also one fact that you personally have traveled across multiple geography, multiple universities, have done a lot of important research, and you would have realized that the participation of a student as an ecosystem in terms of the delivery of anything, be it the institute involvement with a startup or maybe an agriculture organization, the students also play in an ecosystem a very important role. So could you tell us as to how the student community in this institute are involved in multiple projects? What kind of value actually they are adding to some of the things that you are doing? At what level they are involved?
I could say that today, every year, we are adding a couple of students' activities.
Right.
Okay. And in fact, sometimes it is becoming very challenging to manage them, all these activities. We have, for example, we have one entrepreneurship cell.
Right.
And there every year is a big competition between the students, actually, among the students to be a part of this activities. So every year, around 10 to 15 students from the incoming batch, actually, they compete and to be a part of E-Cell, actually.
Right.
And today, whatever we have achieved in the case of FEED or DIC,
Right.
Design and Innovation Center, actually, a lot of share goes to the students. They have been involved.
Right.
For example, as you posed a question earlier about Utishta, which we organize here. So every year we are organizing I'll say entrepreneurship mela.
Right.
We call it entrepreneurship mela. It's called Utishta,
Yeah.
to rise.
Right.
And this year we had almost around 100 to 200 or more than 100 startups. They participated in this program.
Right.
They came and they showcased what they are doing. And we brought a lot of public also, people from across different segments of the society. They came to the campus. They saw what they are doing. For example, I want to give an example. A number of startups, they are promoting millets.
Right.
They came and they showcase. So basically, we are sending a message to the consumers also, or to the stakeholders also. That whatever we see today, we have an analytics club, we have an entrepreneurship cell, and design innovation center. They have a team. So all these students, they come forward,
Right.
and they participate in these activities through the year.
Right.
The biggest challenge in an IIM is how to keep our students engaged.
Right.
In the first year, they're very busy going through the board courses. They come from different backgrounds, and we have a trimester system. It's a very challenging. But the challenge for us is in the second year, actually, how to keep our students engaged. And this activities, actually, they help us a lot. So our students are very much involved. And I could say that in the last 10 years or so, I think our more than 500 students must have been involved in entrepreneurship activities.
Wow.
So this is one way of engaging the students. But I say that they're quite involved. And then another example I gave you about experiential learning, actually. So I think we don't have that kind of a capacity and so many people working in an organization. Students, they bear a lot of burden. In the sense, they share the burden, I'll say.
Absolutely.
By helping the faculty members. So each and every activity is actually, there's a team of students behind that, and they have a faculty guide also.
Right.
I want to give another example. We are running a cafeteria, our students' mess.
Right.
This is the only IIM perhaps which is running its own students' mess actually. Year after year, we are asking them, we'll run through a professional agency, but they say no. While we are running our mess, we learn a lot about business also.
Absolutely.
And they are running, and there must be a big turnover for them.
Absolutely.
So this is one way of learning in the campus.
Absolutely.
Uthishta is one event actually where we try to showcase
Right.
our endeavors in innovation and entrepreneurship.
Right.
And we try to bring all startups, not only those whom we are incubating, but all the startups from say Uttarakhand and nearby states.
Right.
They come and they showcase showcase what they are doing. And I think that's a very, 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 very interesting and very encouraging for us also and for them also, because we can see what our startups are doing and how they are flourishing.
Right.
That is one thing. And this year we have a footfall of around 8,000 people coming and looking at, coming to the program. And during the Uthishta, we also have a session actually where we try to bring out the private investors. And I can say very proudly that out of around 30 to 35 new startups, which we came with their propositions to help them in building their startups, 25 of them, they got the funding.
Right.
And mostly from private investors.
Right. As earlier I mentioned that there are a lot of IIMs and most of them are actually trying to do some innovative things. Would you like to share also what is the strength right now in this IIM Kashipur, and what are your future plans in terms of academics, in terms of the engagement with the community, in terms of the engagement with the business community overall?
Currently, we have a strength of 750 students in the campus, which includes students from MBA, MBA Analytics, and PhD program. And besides, we have students in our Executive MBA program,
Right.
which we run from our Dehradun campus, and then Executive MBA program in Analytics program.
Right.
So that all adds up to around 1,000 students. And now we have plans to expand further. We have our hostels are coming up. So from the next academic year, we'll have a strength of around 1,200 students
Right.
overall. And thanks to government of Uttarakhand, which has given us a big piece of land, which is 200 acres here in the main campus and another 5 acres in Dehradun campus.
Right.
So definitely, we are trying our best to generate resources, and I can say that very proudly that around 4 years back, our turnover was around 30 crores, and now it is touching almost 70 crore rupees, and it is a matter of time when we'll be touching 100 crore rupees.
Right.
And around 15 to 20% of the resources we are generating from our online programs also. That is one area where we like to expand.
Right.
And we also have a plan to start an MBA program, a specialized MBA program in our Dehradun campus. We have 5 acres of land here, and as of now, we are running Executive MBA program, which we run on weekends. And we have students coming from different parts of the country. And we have a plan to start an MBA program in family business there, looking into the context of that area. Tier 2 and Tier 3 cities are there,
Right.
and many of the family businesses, they would like the next generation to learn more about management. So we are trying to go in that direction.
Right.
So this is about our expansion plan.
Right. Professor Balooni, thank you so much for sharing your views. I think you spoke quite well, especially on some of the government project that IIM Kashipur has been working on, the kind of impact it has been able to bring. Also, the specialization that you are focusing, especially in relation to the analytics and entrepreneurship management. And also, there is a very important thing that you mentioned about as to how this startup, especially the agri-tech startups, could play a very important role in terms of creating job, in terms of having more entrepreneurs in and around the area. And also, as to how research and analytics is really important, and the way your own students are involved in multiple projects and programs and some of the future plans that you have. So thank you so much once again for your time, sir.
Thank you. Very nice interacting with you.